What's up guys, Ruppy here, and welcome to week 8 of the UNPL. This has been a rough season for my Columbus Swoo, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what happened, if it was just the momentum shifts of the DLC kind of throwing me off. Maybe it's just, as good as my team looked on paper, it just didn't work right for me. I don't know. I've definitely made a lot of mistakes this season, I do admit to that. But I've had fun all the same, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the ride, and I thank you for sticking with me, despite the fact that it has not worked out in terms of the results so far. The crazy thing is, at 2-5 minus 6, we are somehow still kind of, sort of not out of the playoff race just yet. Granted, we need a lot to go in our favor, and it definitely starts with needing to win these last 2 games. So, the possibility is still there. It's a long shot, but if BBR Season 2 taught me anything, miracles do happen. So we will have to see how it fares. My team is kind of just chilling out just outside of Porto Marinada right now, because I figured it was a somewhat fitting location given the team we are facing, which is going to be the Seattle Sigilyphs, coached by DashingSceptile. We're going to go ahead and flip on over to the quote-unquote chalkboard, the show on Teambuilder. His roster will be appearing off to the right, and he's got a lot of things I do not like, plain and simple. Ogerpon with its Hearthflame mask, Vaporeon, Kilowattrel, Mandibuzz, Deontay, Bronzong, Spectrier, Quaquaval, Dunsparce, Donphan, and Cryogonal. His Terra Captains are Kilowattrel, which can terrestrialize into a Flying Water or Ground type, and a Deontay, which can terrestrialize into a Fairy Water or Steel type. Spectrier is obviously a point of concern because, well, I mean, it and Ogerpon are both Banda Ubers, as if you ask Smogon. Which, funny enough, the day this game is taking place, Sneasler actually just got banned from OU, which I find quite interesting that they went that route, but regardless. Spectrier hits stupidly hard, its Grim Neigh ability allows it to get special attack boost every time it gets a KO. Kilowattrel is a funky option, not so much because it's one of his Terra Captains, but because of what it could do as far as ability is concerned, because I think it gets Wind Power, which doesn't make it immune to any wind attacks I could throw at it with, say, Tornadus-Therian, but it could have a detrimental effect against me, depending on how it plays out. And there's also Volt Absorb, which kind of shuts down any Volt switching I could want to do. Ogerpon with its Hearthflame mask hits stupidly hard. Fire and Grass is actually a really good type combination against my team, I realized while building for this, and it was kind of tricky actually figuring out what I wanted to do with it. Quaquaval can spin and set up. He's got a lot of really solid mons. Deontay is a huge point of concern for me because I'm going to be up front. I have been swept by a Calm Mind Terra Deontay before. I would not be surprised if that's the route this game goes. I tried to prep as best as I could for that possibility, but at the end of the day, since there is a good chance my season is kind of over, I kind of wanted to just have some fun with this, maybe test some more EV spread building strategy and see if I can maybe figure it out and see, if not for this season, if a miracle does happen, then maybe at least going forward for whatever league I end up in next, if I do end up continuing with this, which I would kind of like to. I think I've kind of gotten back into YouTube to some degree at this point. Would love to try to do more with this now. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into my team, and yes, we are starting off with Crewmate the Ditto. I'm not going to explain this because it's a Ditto. You guys know what this thing does by now. I really want to make Ditto work. I want to prove that I can kind of make this mon work in my hands. It is the only mon on my roster that does not have a kill at this point in the season, and honestly, this might be the best chance I've got with the 2 games I have left to maybe try to make something happen with it. So I'm going to go all in on it, and we will see if Ditto can finally get its chance to shine. If that's not the case, however, I have quite a bit of bulk I'm throwing around to maybe try to eat hits and brute force my way through Dashing's team. And that starts with Algae Bloom the Dragology. I've got adaptability for the stab boost, so Draco Meteor and Sludge Bomb are going to be hitting a lot harder. Black Sludge for recovery. Scald is mostly there to try to maybe fish for burns on certain things. I debated a couple different options for that move slot, but ultimately I think I settled on Scald. Just because, 1, it gives me a super effective option to hit Donphan with, and Deontay if it hasn't terrored yet. 2, I can, as I said, fish for burns on things to kind of spread some status, maybe try to cripple some of his physical attackers. Flip Turn is there for momentum. The 16 speed EVs are there to potentially try to outspeed creep a Dunsparce. I know that sounds weird, but I would not be surprised to see Eviolite Dunsparce come to this game, because it is a somewhat solid wall against my team. And one of the many rock setters he's got. He's got a ton of hazard removal as well, so I'm making the potential mistake of not bringing hazards again. We will see how it all plays out. But yeah, Dragology's got 16 speed EVs to kind of speed creep Dunsparce a little bit. 72 special attack EVs with a modest nature is honestly enough, especially with adaptability, to still take huge chunks out of this team. I got a lot of physical bulk on here, especially with all the HP investment, because even with 32 Spadef EVs, that is honestly more than enough for Dragology to be able to eat a lot of the hits I would probably send it in on against special attackers, since there is a lot on his team from that end that I do actually kind of resist. The benefits of Poison Dragon. But Algae Bloom is kind of one of my all-purpose walls for this game. Come in, land huge hits, eat hits, and watch, rinse, repeat. Moving down the line in that same regard, we have the return of Road Roller, the Iron Treads. I've got leftovers, I've got my ability to spin. Earthquake, Iron Head, Knockoff are the moves I'm going with. Maybe a bit weird that I'm kind of running this, but Knockoff is mostly to get rid of items, to kind of try to take away some extra power or recovery or anything on him, kind of try to mess with his game plan. I really wanted Iron Head, even though this set actually doesn't do a whole lot to the likes of Bronzong after Knockoff goes off, or Kilowattrel, or even Ogerpon. Mostly, I wanted to make sure I had Iron Head, mostly just as a potential option to blow away Deontay, either before it Terras, or if he goes Terra Fairy with it. Because I feel like that would be one of my best options to handle Deontay before it gets out of control, if it is in fact a boosting set I'm facing. Plus, Treads has the bulk to be able to come in on hazards, spin them away. I got 36 attack EVs, which does quite a bit in its own right. I got a bunch of Spadef going for it just this time, mostly because, again, I'm trying to make Treads into somewhat of a bulky all-purpose wall. The 192 speed EVs do guarantee that Iron Treads will always outrun. I think I actually benchmarked for Quaquaval, because I think I'm less concerned about Cryogonal because I know I can eat hits from it, unless he were to go, say, Choice Specs, which, I mean, I'm not going to rule that possibility out, but I think I can still eat a Specs Ice Beam from Cryogonal with this build, if I calc correctly, and be able to just blow it away with an Iron Head. So, I benchmark more so for Quaquaval, because I see it as the bigger threat in the long run. Just so I could be able to maybe knock off whatever item it's got, maybe take a chunk out of it with Earthquake, and just kind of go from there. On the same, I know I'm jumping them on here, but on the same bulk train, I guess, I've got Aaron the Serena and Hracevelgar the Tornadus-Therian running joint Assault Vest this week. I have made this combination work, well, Serena and a Regenerator, using a Slowbro in another league. I really want to make this combination work with Serena and Tornadus-Therian. Yes, there are some mons that they both can't break through, but I have Dragalge to be able to kind of deal with that issue. But Serena's got Power Whip, High Jump Kick, Knockoff, and U-Turn for pivoting, getting rid of items. Power Whip actually addresses the multitude of grass weaknesses his team actually does have. High Jump Kick is there for Dunsparce, Cryogonal. It takes a chunk out of Ogerpon too, I believe. Definitely a lot of things it does hit. I'm running more physical bulk because the special bulk is kind of covered by the AV. That is the same case with Tornadus-Therian as well. The 84 speed EVs are... I believe I was specifically trying to speed creep for... I want to say a more offensive Deontay? Let me double check quick. I know I had a reason for this. Ah, right. Now I remember. It was to kind of outspeed creep Amanda Buzz that may be trying to speed creep Serena. Just so I could potentially stay ahead of it. Just knock off whatever item it's got. U-turn out on it so I don't have to deal with it. In the case of Tornadus-Therian, the 168 speed EVs with Timid guarantees that I will always outrun an Ogerpon-Hearthflame. Just because with that mask, it can't hold... That has to be its item. So that thing, I can always stay ahead of that thing unless I let it get a Trailblaze up, which I'm hoping does not happen. I can still take an Ivy Cudgel from it if it's not, if it hasn't Swords Danced. Again, with the knockoff and U-turn, I've got Focus Blast to be able to... This one's mostly for Terra Steel Deontay. And I guess maybe to some degree, yeah, it's mostly for Terra Steel Deontay, Dunsparce to some degree, I guess. Cryogonal as well. Also, after my issue with Hurricane last week, I decided to at least humor the idea of going with a little less power but a little more accuracy in the form of Bleakwind Storm. With the added bonus being that Bleakwind Storm actually has a chance of lowering speed, which could bring Spectrier and Kilowattrel down enough to a point where I can actually outrun them and maybe threaten them with something. Just an interesting option I wanted to try at least. You never know, it might work. And then last but not least in that regard, I decided I wanted to give Specs Meloetta another go because it has actually worked. I'm going Terra Normal, Psyshock, Focus Blast, Shadow Ball, and Hyper Voice. Pretty much covers his whole team. Terra Normal, Hyper Voice does a ton of damage once I Terra. Spectrier is obviously immune to it, but it does not want to take a Shadow Ball, or even a Psyshock for that matter. Psyshock also allows me to get around the likes of Cryogonal. Focus Blast is more so an option for the likes of Terra Steel Deontay again. Any other Terra, and I can threaten it with a Terra Normal Hyper Voice. Basically, Meloetta is here to break stuff. The 216 speed EVs, again, are benchmarking Quaquaval, just so I can always try to stay ahead of that thing before it starts boosting. And the 40 defense EVs, if I don't Terra, I can actually take a close combat from Quaquaval. At least as long as it doesn't have a Swords Dance up. I might be able to take one if it's got a Bulk up, depending on the investment. But pre-Terra, it allows Meloetta to be able to take that kind of hit from Quaquaval, even if he's got some boosts up, and then proceed to blow it away with either a Psyshock or maybe even a Hyper Voice. Mostly Psyshock, though. Because obviously I don't want to Terra if it's going to put me in danger. So, that is the team I'm rocking this week. I have to go ahead and flip back to my locker room. You will notice I am actually not bringing Infernape this week. I honestly couldn't justify the matchup, and I figure Calamity's been doing her absolute best to try to keep our team in the fight all season. I figured she deserved a bit of a break this week, and we'll see if I can pull the pieces together with her giving support from the sidelines. Same with Rotom-Wash, though Rotom has at least missed one game up to this point. But we will try to find a way to make it work. We will see how this game goes. And I will see you guys when it's battle time. Alright, it is battle time, and happy belated Thanksgiving, I guess. I'm actually saying that preemptively because I'm playing this game the Sunday before, but I know this video is going to be going up shortly after Thanksgiving, so I figured I'd go ahead and mention it. I guess if you want to leave a comment down below about how you celebrated your Thanksgiving, if you had anything good to eat aside from just turkey, feel free to let me know. Anyway, we have found our opponent here. Let's go ahead and see what we are up against. Kilowattrel, the Ogerpon, Quaquaval, Spectrier, Mandy, and Deontay. Alright. So, no Donphan, which I'm kind of happy with. No Cryogonal, which, fair. I wasn't even benchmarking that thing anyway on half of these builds. Maybe in retrospect, I should have brought some hazards in, even though I know Quack and Mandy are still a thing. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Mandy lead. I would not be surprised to see a Deontay lead either. I think in both of those cases, I actually want to lead Hracefelger. Just so I can kind of scout, see how we are going to play this, and kind of go from there. I feel comfortable with this. Not 100% confident, but I mean, that's with how the season has gone for me so far. Can you blame me? In any case, good luck, have fun dashing, and, well, with any luck, maybe my Swoo can somehow pull this out. As he's just going to go ahead and lead with the Kilowattrel. Alrighty. So, kind of caught that right out of the gate. If this thing happens to be Specs by some chance... Thunderbolt has a chance to Oko. It's a slim chance, though. Honestly, I think I'm fine with just going knockoff to get rid of whatever item this thing does have, and just going from there. If he wants to Volt Switch out, he can be my guest, predicting me to switch out. If he wants to, he's just going to go straight for the Thunderbolt. So, this thing is not Specs. Heavy-duty boots. Fair enough. I had a feeling, but I didn't want to over-assume. So I'm definitely getting Hracefelger out of here. And, honestly, part of me wants to go into Treads, but I'm a little iffy just because of the possibility of Terra Water. You know what I could do, actually? What I could do instead... No, screw it, I'm gonna go into Rolled Roller. Maybe a mistake, but I guess we'll find out shortly. As we just go ahead and block the T-Bolt, which I am perfectly fine with. So on that note, I kind of want to spin, maybe? Because I should... Because I think that'll... Yeah, that'll make me faster than this thing. If he's Terra Water and has Terra Blast... I can take it. See, I'm just going to go ahead and Rapid Spin just to get the speed boost. As he does go ahead and Terra. So, him not using the Terra for Deontay actually kind of puts me at ease. And he is, in fact, Terra Water. How about that? So, this play might actually work out for me after all. He is, in fact, Terra Blast. So, So, go ahead and hit me with it. Road Roller takes it. I'm going to Rapid Spin, which should now make me faster than this thing. And since he did, in fact, Terra, I'm going to go ahead and Earthquake, because I know I outspeed this thing. Yep, I figured that would scare him out. Is Mandy coming in? Yep. That is perfectly fine with me. Because I'm just going to get more Leftovers recovery back out of this. I know I can't really touch this thing, but you know what? I'm still gonna stay in a knockoff, though. Just get rid of whatever item this thing has, try to make my life significantly easier. So it was heavy-duty boots. Me over here not bringing hazards. There go my Leftovers, which does kind of suck, but it is fine. It is fine. I would not put it past him to knock off again. I'm going to go ahead and Iron Head, actually. Just in case he tries to knock off predicting a switch. Or I could just get a flinch. That works too. Screw it, why not? Let's just go with this. There's the Roost. Figured as much. So, how do I wish to play this? Because there's a couple options I could go with here. I think I'm just going to stay in an Iron Head again on the potential knockoff. Just get another flinch, why not? You know what? Part of me actually kind of wants to switch into Algae Bloom right now. Well, it's a tempting thought. I could also go into Tornadus-Therian. I think I'm going to go into Tornadus. Preserve Road Roller for now. Let's see. Ideally, I called the Roost, so... Yep, okay. That works out perfectly fine for me. Now I'm just going to go ahead and U-turn out because it chips this thing. But it also allows Hracefelger to get, I believe, back up to full through Regenerator. And since he's switching this thing out, I can get some chip off on something, which is going to be the Deontay. Which I am all for that. So Hracefelger is going to... Alright. Options. If I go into Dragalge, I'm actually not really touching this thing. Especially since it's not Terraing. That was actually... Yeah, that actually kind of matters with Deontay. What I could do, actually... I'm gonna go to Crewmate. I have an idea. That way I can see exactly what this Deontay set is. And maybe figure out a game plan from here. So it's Leftovers. That is good to know. And we have... Baton Pass... Moonblast, Earth Power, and Stealth Rock. Good to know. Good to know. kind of get my Ditto a little set up here. That is the problem with Ditto, is plugging all this in after the fact. So if he is a bulkier... Honestly, I think my play is just to use this to set up rocks. And then I'll just pivot around. Just get Scarf Rocks up. And then go from there. And he just goes ahead and baton passes. Okay. Fair enough. So in is going to come... I mean, Quaquaval seems kind of likely just because of, Nope, into Spectrier. Fair enough, and it is also leftovers. Noted. Noted. Okay. So I'm kind of locked into rocks here. Part of me feels like my play might be to let Road Roller go down, but Road Roller and Iron Head is actually really nice with, Ideally, I could also go Rain. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Rain, actually. Because I know, because it can't hit me with a Shadow Ball. And these Specs hits are going to hurt. Nasty plot. Good to know, Shadow Ball cannot touch me. So, if I Shadow Ball back, that is a definite, well, a near definite Oko. Shadow Ball and Psyshock are kind of my only real moves here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mandy come in on that. I'm just going to go ahead and click Shadow Ball. It has Dark Pulse. Okay, and the... Well then. I have no right to be mad on that, considering the Iron Head flinches I got on Mandibuzz. That is incredibly annoying, though, because... Well, I guess as long as I keep rocks from going up on my side, I still have rain. That is just irritating. So I guess now the question becomes, what is my play then? And I think I'm actually just going to go Arum. Preserve Rain either for potential death fodder, or if I can get it back in and blow something up with Specs later in one last-ditch effort. Let's go Psychic! Interesting. And the Okay. I thought I had enough of this. So last week it was misses, this week it's flinches and drops, apparently. Good to know. Good to know. I'm pretty sure, though... Yeah, another Psychic would definitely take me out. I'm still gonna try for the knockoff anyway, though. As it just goes ahead and for Shadow Ball. I figured as much. So Serena is down, but I mean, obvious play is obvious here. I just want to see... Yeah. I think I know what this would invite in. But you know what? We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna go into crewmate. Well, I guess the question is, are they a crewmate? Because they seem a little sus to me. And yep, I'm at +3. Which I think actually might be enough to deal with Mandibuzz. Actually, no, I think is at full health last I checked. I'm still gonna click Scarf Shadow Ball though and dent something. I do have a chance at a 2-shot on Mandibuzz pending the rolls though, even if it is at full health. Well, it lost its boot, so it comes in on rocks. Because these rocks are still up. Yep, there is that switch into Mandibuzz, I presume. Yep. Figured that would be the case. So, it's going to take rocks. It's going to take this +3 Shadow Ball from crewmate. Now I'm the one getting a Spadef drop. I'm going to click Shadow Ball again because I have literally no reason not to. And might I have actually timed this perfectly and might have gotten myself a Ditto Sweep? I mean, the possibility exists, especially since I'm Scarf going off of Spectrier's speed stat, and Spectrier is the fastest thing on his team. So I'm now at +4 because of the Grim Neigh. And yeah, this might have actually turned into me actually using Ditto correctly. This might have been the game. Into Kilowattrel, which I know does not outspeed. I'm just going to collect Shadow Ball here, because I have literally no reason not to. So Kilowattrel's not an issue anymore. Actually, in retrospect, the one downside to this is I do have limited Shadow Balls here. So that is something I'm going to have to make note of. Because I think I've got only 2 more left and he's got 3 Mons. But Ditto's going to do a ton of damage in the process. This thing is going to come in, it's going to take rocks, and I think it dies to a Shadow Ball pending his investment. I think since I got the rocks up from using Ditto the first time, I think this might be a guaranteed OHKO with the boost I've gotten through Grim Neigh. And indeed it is! So, it's not going to be a full Ditto sweep because I do only have 1 more Shadow Ball left in me. It's just a matter of, does he go Spectrier? Well, I think he, at this point, well, let's see. There's Quack and Ogerpon are still left, as is his own Spectrier. But I don't think he tried. I honestly think his best bet might be sacking his own Spectrier here. Just because of the fact that it prevents me from being able to... Yeah, I figured that would be what's going to happen. I figured that would be the case. Because it prevents me from being able to pull this same stunt in... If he tries to bank on Spectrier pulling this back, I could just pull the same stunt again. So all that leaves now is Quaquaval and Ogerpon, which is a tiny bit problematic just because of the fact that, well, I kind of have to switch here. I don't think he boosts with Quaquaval, though. because I could just pull this same stunt with Ditto. I'm gonna go into Hracevalgar. Since obviously I'm out of Shadow Balls, Ditto would be stuck struggling, so there's no point in keeping it out now. It did what I needed to, and I can... If he tries to pull a... set up to pull a reverse sweep. So, calls the switch and goes for the Ice Spinner. Okay. Fair enough. I suppose that was a possibility that could happen. I'm going to try going for a Bleak Wind Storm. This thing is scarfed. Noted. Noted. Okay. So you are scarfed. I could throw Ditto back out right now, but I don't think I want to. It's a +1. I'm gonna go into Algae Bloom. Because I think I can take even a +1 Ice Spinner and heavily dent this thing with Draco. Or at least that's the plan. Obviously I have to hit Draco first. But So, Algae Bloom does take this. I do hit the Draco. Do not get the kill, though. Which is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. And at this point, I think I just let Algae Bloom go. What I'm trying to see right now is basically with this thing at +2, if I let it get the Moxie kill, do I deal with Ogerpon? I'm just going to click Sludge Bomb and let Algae Bloom go down here. Plus, on the off chance he... That might have actually worked out. Because this thing is going to take rocks. Yes, yes, you've got Mold Breaker. I'm going to Sludge Bomb you, which almost kills. Even at -2. I'm just going to click Sludge Bomb again. As it goes for the Zen Headbutt. Fair. But I mean... At this point, I'm pretty sure I just send in Ditto and this is ball game. Because Quaquaval dies to rocks. And since Crewmate is scarfed, it outruns this thing. Or at least it should. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Ivy Cudgel for the for sure KO. Scarf plus Mask. And yeah, Quaquaval should die to rocks, and I think that does it. So, well, I finally figured out how to use Ditto. Because that's a Ditto sweep. A complete Ditto sweep. So, that just happened. GG Dashing. I'm sorry I had to do that to you, but as I said in my team builder, if there was any chance I had of finally being able to use Ditto correctly, this would be the game. And lo and behold, that is exactly what happened. Ditto, I apologize that I have failed you so much this season. I am glad we reconciled our differences and made this work. All 6 kills going to Ditto in some fashion. Good lord. Ditto, I salute you, my little jelly friend. Imposters win. As does my Columbus Swoo. GG again, Dashing. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I have been Ruppy. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.